Welcome to the Path to Purpose interview show, where we share our unique and universal stories about finding and fulfilling our purpose. My name is Katja, and I'm your host and mentor for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to purpose. Today, I have a pleasure to interview Swanette Kuntze, who is an engineer who turned into an intuitive consultant, holistic coach, and energy healer. Now she helps people to find their mission in life, tune into what is important for them, and what makes them really deeply happy. Let's find out more about her path, and I will also ask her best tips how to release the past. So let's get started here. So welcome, Swanette. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah, welcome. So I'm really happy to be on your show today. And this is really special for me to sit in the other chair, being the guest and not the host. And yeah, welcome also to your audience.
Oh, thank you. And yes, I know like you do so many interviews. So it is actually now so lovely to have you actually be a guest. So people get to know you maybe different way than before. And could you tell a little bit about yourself more? Because I introduced you very briefly. And also tell us where you are located so we can put you on the map.
Yeah, so I originally come from Germany, but I'm now in Madeira. This is a very tiny island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It belongs to Portugal. And this is really a special place. It is full of abundance. It is a subtropical island. And we have a lot of flowers here. It's also known as the island of the flowers. And there's a special energy and light here. So this is a really perfect place I'm in now for about 2.5 years.
That's wonderful. Madeira is actually on my list of places to visit. Let's see when I get there. But it sounds amazing. And I've seen some photos. It is really beautiful place. So you are in a very, very, very amazing place. And hopefully I get to visit you one day soon. And your path, because you were an engineer. And that's so curious because sometimes we have this stereotype of engineer that they are very analytical, they are very much relying on the mind. And then you turned into being a coach, healer, which is something very different. So was there a special event that led you to this path, made you to shift the direction where you were going?
Yeah, so I think looking back, there has been a lot of moments where the universe wanted to tell me to step into a certain direction and I ignored it. And like really going back when I was a child. So this was the first moment I remember that somehow my soul purpose showed up, but of course I was a child and didn't remember what was going on. So I will tell you a little bit about that.
Yes.
I was in coma, being 8 years old, and I had this near-death experience. Lying on the bed, looking at myself from above, seeing how the doctors stick in a very long needle into my spinal cord, and I felt like, oh, I'm here in a place where I'm where so much peace and light, and I had the feeling, oh, I would like to disappear, go into this light. And the next moment, it felt like I was pushed back into my body, and I had this horrible pain because of this needle inside of me, and I woke up from my own screaming and then fell back into coma. This happened again and again and again, that I was in coma and nobody knew what it was. So there had been some ideas from the doctors. It could be a meningitis or too low blood pressure or whatever. So I took a lot of different medicine to handle the situation. And only when I became an engineer and I studied chemical environmental technology, I understood, oh, I was poisoned by pesticides. So during that time, it was very usual to paint the wood inside of the houses with a paint that included pesticides to protect the wood from rotting. And of course, so that no insects go in. But of course, the substances, these toxic substances that will kill insects, also have an impact on little children. And these are neurotoxins I inhalated again and again and again because it was my sleeping room. So from that moment on, when I was 8 years old, I had always this feeling that, yeah, I don't belong here. I'm different. I don't understand the other kids, and the other kids don't understand me. And it was really kind of struggling for me to be with them in this normal reality. And so I started to sit very often in the library and read books about life, about everything that is surrounded with life. And I had also this ability being clairvoyant and precognitive as a child. So I was able to look beyond and couldn't understand why can't the other children see what I can see, because it's so obvious, yeah? It's right in front of us. And so, but this stopped somehow when I grew up, and it was like amnesia. I couldn't even remember this for a long time. And so I studied my profession in medicine. I worked in a clinical laboratory, and then I became an energy engineer in environmental technology and worked as a consulting engineer in analyzing toxic substances in houses and how they impact the body of people and the health. And after a while, I went into a business consultancy in personal development and organizational transformation. So it was a long way, like being in business, in consulting, like wearing this black suit. And yeah, so, but I also, when I was in this consultancy, got closer and closer to people, like away from strategies and the real consulting into to the side of personal growth and personal transformation. And so I studied business coaching and a lot of other things like NLP and Wingwave to really help people. And for me, it was also my own process. Like, yeah, all this help I needed for myself. I went through all this process and then were able to help other people. So it was not like that this was a break from one moment to another, but it was like step-by-step process.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing your journey. It's just so touching, like seeing you, because I can see you as the little girl and then not really wanting to come back here, but you did, and I'm so glad that you did, as now you are here supporting others. And one of the things you mentioned that you could see these things like clearly, and that was challenging as a child because others couldn't. So it was like, why can't you see these things? And I totally get that. Like as a child or youngster, we want to blend in, but then we sometimes, I have a little bit similar experience as well, being an outsider at school, feeling separate, feeling different, and not feeling that I really truly belong with other kids. And one of the things, because you mentioned this like ability to see, and I know that you're also a psychic reader and you specialize in Akashic records. Do you think that when you were a child, you already tapped into that wisdom, or did that come later? And also tell a little bit more about Akashic records, because maybe some haven't heard what they are. So let's talk about that for a while.
Yeah, so as I told you, it was like when I was a child, these abilities were there, and then for a long time I didn't have any access. So it was really that I even couldn't remember that I once had this ability. So it only came back when my dog died. And this was really this kind of moments that were a turning point for myself. Like, I was with my dog for 16 years. We really had a very strong relationship, strong bond, and we did a lot of things together, like doing sports, dog dancing, and she was with me whenever she could.
Yeah.
So it was really, and she was my soul dog. I can't even say something else. So we really had this strong bond. And so it was this moment, I was outside with my brother who was visiting me, and we were doing some gardening, and I got this picture, I have to leave you now. And I said to him, oh yeah, Tyra, so the name of my dog, just called me, I have to go inside because she is passing to the other side now. He said, I didn't hear her bark, nothing. I said, no, she sent me a picture. And so I went inside, and yeah, I saw her lying on my sofa, the eyes bright open, and again, staring at me and giving me this message, I have to leave you now. And 15 minutes later, she died in my arms. So this was really for me, yeah, it was like a part of me disappeared. And so in this moment, all these old abilities were back. It was really like overwhelming me. Like, yeah, I could see so many things that I haven't seen for all the years. And then, of course, the memories came back. Okay, I've had the situation again before. So what I did, I started to do, to go deeper into science to understand what is this all about. What is clairvoyance, and what is precognition, and how can we use them? And so I ended up learning about the Akashic records. And the Akashic records, you can imagine this is a kind of library of your soul. So everything that you experienced, all the feelings, all the emotions, all the vows you gave, they are recorded in this library, in these Akashic records. And so the soul has a past. So we are, as a soul, incarnated, like we are here now sitting, having our bio body, but the other state is that we are disconnected, and then we are only in this paraspirit. So going back and forth and back and forth, every time we are incarnated, we have our experiences. We have our lives with all what is happening. And this is kind of recorded in the Akashic records. So as I'm able going into the Akashic records, I can read them like seeing a movie or seeing pictures, and I get words and emotions with that. So this is very helpful for people who feel that they have a past life, and often this shows up like having deja vus, or they're having dreams about being in another country, or they are very attracted to special cultures they have never been to, or yeah, they have habits that they don't understand why they are there, or even loops they are always in again and again.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I tap into past lives myself as well, and it makes sense, and it's so fascinating as well to have that opportunity to work on some past emotions, because we do, I believe, repeat things until we learn, until we are able to work things out. And like those outdated memories, trapped emotion, limiting beliefs, we get these opportunities to work through them. And that's something you also help people to do. And when it comes to those, like, have you experienced them yourself, and there been something that you could share with us, like what was the thought or emotion, and how did you work through that? Like, how did you shift it?
Yeah, yes, of course. So when I was a child, I was always very shy, and I had always a feeling that, yeah, I'm different and I don't belong here. So it was always like the other children are bullying me, and I felt like really having the situations where they were almost traumatic, where children hold me at the arms and painted into my face. And I always had this feeling, why am I here? I don't belong here. And what can I do to go back to this place that was so attractive? And I really worked on my own traumas and getting rid of this feeling that I'm not good enough for being here on this planet. I'm not able to serve people, that I will never make it here. And I released a lot of emotions that were anxiety, fear, shame, and tried to go up with my own vibration frequency, so that I'm in a better mood, and now can help people with that. Of course. And also by clients, I can help them with situations where they feel they have, for example, I had a client, she had speaking anxiety. So every time she had to go on stage, it was like, her brain was totally blank. And we worked with her on changing her behavior on stage, like doing rhetoric training and stage training and all this kind of stuff. So this didn't work out. Then we looked into her current life and figured out, okay, there has been a situation, for example, when she was a child, standing at the board in front of the class and doing some calculation, she was not able to. So this was a traumatic situation, and all this fear that was emotionally behind, we released that. We also released this blocking belief that I can't speak in front of people. And still there was something that was triggering her when she had to go on stage. So with other people on a table or one-on-one, it was all fine. But as soon as she had to step up onto a stage, there was this fear still. And so then I went into her Akashic records, and what I figured out was there was a situation when she was on a wooden stage, and in front of her, people standing, laughing, clapping, shouting, and she had a bond around her neck, and she was hung. So for her, it was every time people clap at me and I'm on stage, I will die. Oh. There was still this energetically cord to the present time. And so I cleared this situation, and now she is much better going on stage.
Yeah, and I totally get that. Like sometimes we make these connections and we kind of hold on to them lifetime after lifetime until we work through them and we can release them. And that I believe is possible. But these fears sometimes, like we might have experienced in this lifetime, but sometimes we just carry the fear or anxiety over something. And that's when the past lives come into play, and like we can carry over things. So that's super fascinating what you just shared, and thank you for sharing that experience, because I think that also might open somebody's thoughts, like maybe there might be something like that, and you are a wonderful person to help there. If somebody's like now, like maybe there is something I need to work on. And now I want to ask, in your opinion, because you have been helping so many on these stuck emotions, memories that we kind of get stuck on, like why so many people struggle to release those outdated memories?
I think it could be that on the first hand, they don't even are aware about what is the root of the struggling. So they see that they are going in loops. So every time they, for example, meet someone, they fall in love and they break up with a relationship. And they can't see what is really the loop. They can see that there's a loop, but they can't look behind. So often this is like, we know also about the beliefs we do have, but we are not really totally aware of them. Like if I would ask you, do you have a blocking belief that is still in your way? Would you know one?
Yes, I do actually,
Yeah,
because I'm working on them. It's kind of like it is a process.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but often people, these beliefs are in the subconsciousness. The people
Mm.
are consciously aware of these blocking beliefs. Often, when we go back into the childhood, they can remember, okay, my mother always told me, you are not, you will never make it. Or look at your brother, he is doing well and you're always back. Or yeah, these kind of sentences we hear again and again and again, and we generalize them. So it is not like only we heard them once, but we think that they are true. And
Yes.
so we are carry on this blocking beliefs. And this could be in all situations. It could be in relationship. It could be in money. There often people have a lot of blockages. It can be in their personal growth. It can be in their health. They think because we have a tradition of a certain sickness that is given over from past generations to mine, I will get this sickness as well. So this is belief, and as our body doesn't know if this thought is true or not, it will react on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We often see this when we see a movie and we get emotionally, and our body will react on that with tears. Yeah, and even though we know, okay, this is only a movie, our body is reacting on the thoughts we have and on the emotions with special kind of symptoms. Yeah, so we have body reactions every time, and so I think the first thing is to become clear about what are the beliefs, what are people really thinking about themselves, and write them down. What are the sentences I heard from people that are very close to me, like family members or sometimes teachers, or priests often have also this impact. They create shame about, for example, sexuality, and being clear about what are these beliefs that I carry on for a long time. And becoming aware of that, we are able to release them. For example, I use the emotion code, which is an energetic healing technique, and we can get rid of the trapped emotions that are related to these blocking beliefs, and so they can go. And then we will fill up this open space with good affirmations and empowering sentences, so that the energy of the body will change.
Mm. And that is so important if we want to move forward. Like if somebody now has the inspiration to achieve their highest spiritual potential in order to become who they really truly are, so those steps can help to start being more aware, because that has such a power. Like our thoughts and feelings and our reactions, you can tune in to check what's happening in your body any given moments in the situations where you might go into, like what's happening there inside, and work on them right there and then. Like, because I have done that too. Like I have trapped emotions, I didn't want to deal with them. I thought if I ignore them they go away. Nah, it didn't work too well. so that is one of the things. So if somebody now is like let's put this, like they know that something happened in the past, like myself as well, like I something happened, I pushed down the emotions, I didn't want to deal with them, and maybe that was a coping mechanism at the time because there was no capacity to handle those emotions back then. But now I'm aware I am carrying something from the past. And what could be then the first step to start working something that a person is aware that comes from the past, but they are still holding on. Of course, my recommendation would be contact Swanette. You don't need to do this work on your own. But if somebody wants to like now get started, what would you recommend?
So if they are aware that they will have, for example, a body reaction on a certain situation, like people who are in fear, for example, often have the feeling that the throat is getting tight, or they have this funny feeling in the stomach. And so first of all, I would ask them to be aware of the body reactions you have and figure out in what kind of situations these body reactions happen, so that you don't step into this, there is a situation and you act always the same time, the same way.
Yeah.
Like going into a meter position and like observing yourself, like what is the situation and how do I interpretate the situation normally? And how could I, if I come from another perspective, also interpret the situation? Is there still this feeling of fear or anxiety there? Or is it like I only memorize it from past experiences? Or am I really present, or am I constructing something in the future? Like, yeah, if I go into this interview, of course, I could imagine, oh, everything goes wrong, but this is my construction and then this will happen. So how do I interpret my future? Go I into this world where I'm expecting the best for me, or am I in a kind of mode where I feel like I'm the prisoner of life and life is happening to me? So it is about, yeah, self-leadership, understanding that everybody creates his own life. So one thing is, of course, it is like you have first the information, this could be your thought, then you have the energy you bring in, like focusing on that, and then you will manifest it. So you will create it in reality. And if your thoughts are like, I'm a bad person, I will not make it, whatever, and then you focus on that, you will have synchronicities that appear that are always bad and not the good ones. And so you create a life where you are struggling. But the same way you could do it, like understanding, okay, life is playing for me, my life is good, and then you focus on the good things that are happening and are grateful for what is already in your life and what will come into your life. And then you will have a life of abundance and happiness. Yeah. So this could be some exercises.
That is super powerful. Like what you shared, like, are you thinking life happens to me or life happens for me? That's actually something I do share as well. So we are teaching the same thing. Because and another thing you mentioned there, like the self-leadership, like because sometimes we forget that we actually can choose our thoughts. And of course, the old thoughts might come to test us, but again, do you start focusing on them? Or do you want to shift like what is possible for you? Because that's your mind is something where you can make those choices. Even though when I started doing this shift, it felt like my mind has mind of its own and I have no control over it. Like it just thinks what it thinks. Like, how can I ever choose a thought? But it is possible. I have done it and you can do it too if you're watching. Like, I believe that you can. Like, and I totally get that. Like, sometimes it feels like, yeah, but these thoughts are just coming. But it is possible. Like, start shifting and creating the future that you want and having those thoughts that are serving you and supporting you. And I love the work that you do. Like that's so powerful. And one of the things as well, I briefly mentioned that you said like recognizing those patterns. Like if you repeat something, like where are those moments when you feel the sensation in your body? Where are those moments when you do the same thing over and over again? Because then when you have that awareness, then you do have a choice. But before we are aware, we just keep doing the things again and again until we kind of have the awareness. So that's the observation is super, super powerful. And it is a step where you can start your own transformation. And also, if you need support, I'd highly recommend connecting Swanette, because you are not alone on this path. And there are people like Swanette who can help you and support you. So now if people want to hear more about you, find out more about you and your work, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, of course, they can find me in the social media like Instagram or Facebook under my name, Swanette Kuntze. I also have a Facebook group that is Spiritual Changemaker Community, where I share my insights, where I also share topics about personal growth. And of course, if you want to listen to my podcast, it is called Holistic Creators. You can find it on YouTube, on iTunes, and on Spotify.
Wonderful. That's a great ways to get started, to learn more. And you are sharing always such a wonderful insights. So I highly recommend that podcast. And I know you wanted to offer something even more for the people who listen. Could you share a little bit about your gift?
Yeah, of course. For all the people who are listening now, I would offer you a 30-minute mini coaching to have a call on Zoom with me, and I help you for a short time really to step into your own process and to overcome what is blocking you and give you the first help. The link will be somewhere down there.
Yeah, it will be on the comments, so check the description below. And I highly recommend that. Like, that is such a beautiful gift. So the abundance is here right now. You can get started straight away. Just click the link and just say yes for beautiful offer, beautiful support that you can receive right now. So check the link below. And now we start wrapping up this interview. And I'd like to ask you, you have shared so much value already, but do you have a special message that you would still like to share?
Yeah, so for me, I think it is really important for everyone, especially in these times where we are in a time of anxiety and fear because of this COVID situation. Please use everything you can to come in a good mood. Like, for example, listening to music that is inspiring you, listen to podcasts like this one, to see inspiring people and everything that will help you connect to nature, for example, that will help you to come in a higher vibration, to come in a good mood and not stuck into fear and anxiety.
That was beautiful message. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time and all the work that you do here in the world. And thank you for watching Path to Purpose interview show. If you want support on your path, you can also join Lightworkers Who Succeed on Purpose Facebook community. I am sending you so much light and love. Stay well and stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. And you can also check the previous episodes. So bye for now.